And if you want more financial capital, you're either an idea or a relationship away from that next level of prosperity. So I am bullish and aggressive on investing in quality relationships. I'm bullish on investing in the right mental capital and attending and spending time with the right people. I put a lot of money in that every year because it always pays off in a big way for me. So that never changes regardless of the economy.
I just want to ask you a couple questions about this. I actually want to ask you about work and life, because you travel the world, you get a ton of stuff done, you have a great relationship with your wife and kids, you run a great business, you help entrepreneurs all over the world. How the heck do you stay so centered and present and still get everything done? How in the world do you do that?
Okay, this will be a couple pieces to this question. The first one, and I think the first time I ever shared it, we were sharing a stage on a panel at Amazing. And I've gotten even more clear about this, but what I figured out is I have to categorize people into 3 categories. First is people I'm friends with. People I'm friends with, I say yes to their invites and I invite them to things all the time. People I'm friendly with are the people that don't want to see me succeed. They're too indoctrinated into the consumer condition. They're negative people that aren't thinking about ideas and impact. Instead, they're thinking about complaining and circumstance. So I say no to every one of their invitations, and I never invite them to anything, and it gets a ton of time back into my life. And the third category are buddies. Buddies are people I like, but I'd never do business with. And by not doing business with them, I save a lot of time because I usually end up holding the bag on that. The second thing is business habits and rhythms and personal habits and rhythms. Every day at the end of the day, I look at my calendar, I say, does my calendar reflect the man that I want to be? And what did I do today that someone else could have done unless I absolutely loved what I did? And then I said, rather than being cheap about who I hire, I make sure to pay more and hire the very best people so that I could delegate roles, not tasks. Tasks enslave you. Roles free you up, because if you can count on someone and hand it to them and they can do it, then you can go to Italy for 2 months and still have your company run and only work for 5 half days. Or you could be on the road and have an event. We have one of our workshops going on right now. When he first invited me to this, I'm like, I have a workshop, and by the way, someone that you introduced me to is at the workshop. They're like, you're supposed to be at capitalism. I'm like, I'm going last night, and they're like, oh. So yeah, once again, they feel like, how are you doing all this? But I have a book coming out next year. We have 35,000 copies in bookstores. In March, 100,000 copies out the gate. I'm going for #1 with that. It's because I chose a good team. And I've just gotten more selective. I do 5 things really great, and then I say no to a ton of stuff. I say no to a lot of opportunity because we always get these distractions as entrepreneurs that are gift wrapped in something that looks like opportunity. And I've gotten really clear to listen to my wife because her intuition tells me when it's bullshit. Yeah.
So we both believe that entrepreneurs are the greatest engine that we have to create growth and 100%. Wealth and change. And entrepreneurs go into something, we get amazing results right away, and then we often get constrained by stuff we need to get done, by things like payroll, by paying taxes. You're working at freeing that up and freeing up that capital and make sure it stays in the hand of entrepreneurs rather than governments. Yep. What do you think is the #1 mistake that people make that gets them constrained?
The #1 mistake is that they can't differentiate the 3 measures of worth. So there's price, which is what we pay. There's cost, which is our economic impact. And there's value, which is our overall feeling of satisfaction. And most of the world, they live in the world of price. And when we try to save money, we end up expending and taking tons of energy in the name of that savings. It constrains us, and then all of a sudden we have less energy for everything else. But if we can understand cost, I would pay 10 times more for my tax attorney than I pay him right now because my economic cost goes down so much having him in my life. So the value that I have knowing that I'm gonna pay less in tax is I feel good because, dude, my great-grandfather was run out of a country because of tax, and then he got to the US in the year we came out with the US Revenue Act. I'm pissed off about all types of taxes. Ignorance tax, success tax, employee tax, because I'm here to make sure that people legally and ethically pay the very minimum so they can put that back in their life. And if you're not willing to invest in yourself and let other people support you, because you have a mentality of if you want it done right, you gotta do it yourself, that is your constraint and you're never gonna get truly wealthy.
What are you investing in right now, or what do you see coming? How are you managing your wealth differently, or is it the same path forward in these economic times?
A little different. One is I am stuffing every dollar the government will allow me into my overfunded life insurance plan right now, because I want massive liquidity. I could pull that money out at any time. I'd have to do better than 9.9% to put it somewhere else, and that's a pretty amazing storage tank. And the second thing is, I started to look at investing not as products, but let me give this equation, and then I'll answer the second half. There's this equation. Who in here wants more money, just by a show of hands here? Okay? All right, if you don't, earmuff this, okay? So financial capital is a byproduct. It's a byproduct. So if you think you have a money problem, you never have a money problem. It's actually a problem of two more precious forms of capital, one being called mental capital, which is your knowledge, your wisdom, your insight, your tools, your strategies, mental capital. If you've ever heard it's not what you know, it's who you know, that's not true, because Ryan doesn't hang out with me and I don't hang out with Ryan if neither of us brings anything to the table. We're just we'd make fun of each other, essentially, right? So what you know matters in today's world. And the second piece is relationship capital, which are people, networks, organizations, mentors, family, friends. And if you want more financial capital, you're either an idea or a relationship away from that next level of prosperity. So I am bullish and aggressive on investing in quality relationships. I'm bullish on investing in the right mental capital and attending and spending time with the right people. I put a lot of money in that every year because it always pays off in a big way for me. So that never changes regardless of the economy. But I stopped looking at investments as products, and I started looking at investments as what are my biggest skill sets? How can I package that up and start bringing that to the marketplace, not only to customers and clients, but even to other financial people. And in the last 2 years, by looking at that, half of my income comes from licensing what I do, and I consider that my #1 investment. And I can get 6-figure and 7-figure payouts in short periods of time. I can't do that with any other investment unless I would have gotten into crypto when I was first told about it.
Want to master your money? Want to figure out the things that you could do to improve your finances? Click here and check out more videos like this on Money Matters.